Welcome to Fan Funny on New Year's Day. I do apologise, I've got quite a bad cold. Don't think it's the flu as of yet, but hopefully it's not plague. We'll survive. Anyway, it's back on these team reviews, which is a very good concept actually. We're on these huge vlogs by people who think they know everything. These are few four 1 minute summaries are brilliant. Anyway, get on. So McLaren, the mighty McLaren. They should have conquered everything this year. They should have been like Red Bull were last year. The way the McLaren car started off, they should have waltzed to at least the constructors. They should have just waltzed right towards it, and they blew it yet again. That said, I don't think their pit stops helped that one very much. I think it was on the BBC F1 review. McLaren were pushing for sub 3 second stops too soon, so they kept having problems. It's like, got to be quick. Oh, we made a mistake. Plus, we don't know how bad things were with Lewis Hamilton behind closed doors. He was quite clearly at some points in the season, things were not very happy between him and the team. We don't know quite how bad it was for everyone in the team, but certainly McLaren cost themselves constructors this year, I think. And who knows, they could have cost Jenson and Lewis a driver's title, possibly more Lewis a driver's title. I mean, I'd much prefer Jenson to win one, but anyway. Well, over the minute already. Next one, Sauber. They impressed me enormously this season, to be honest. They impressed me more than my precious Williams team. Because the Sauber car was exactly what Mercedes, Lotus and Williams were looking like they were going to do. Sauber were on the podium quite was it 3 times? 3 times and quite up in the points on a few other occasions and nearly had a win. Now whilst Lotus, Williams and Mercedes all won, they weren't on the podium very often, so Sauber have done a fantastic job. I think it's a big risk they're taking next year with Gutierrez. Hulkenberg's a good choice, but I think they would have been better off with Hulkenberg and Kobayashi, because then they got some technical continuation with Kobayashi. He would have been with the team, if he'd stayed next year, it would have been 3, 4 years, I can't remember how many that would have been. But, well, hopefully, I just hope they can continue that form on into next season. They could be one of the top 5 teams if they keep playing their cards right. But we'll have to wait and see. They could mess up the design of the car. We don't know, unfortunately. But this year they've impressed me immensely. Toro Rosso, Scuderia Toro Rosso, or Team Red Bull, if you didn't know what it stood for. Of course, most people probably would. They've disappointed me this year, to be honest. They were looking great in testing. They've done this past couple of years. They've looked fantastic in testing. Brilliant concepts. Poorly executed in the season. I think they would be better off keeping Buemi and Alguersuari. They would be better off keeping one of those two and bringing in Verne or what's his face, Ricciardo. They would have been better off doing that. But on the whole, that said, that on the whole, the bit of the grid they're fighting in, it's quite close together. So a few tenths of a second here and there where they're dropping it is just neither here nor there. But they could have been, again, they could have been so much more this season. They could have been the points more often. But that's the way it goes, unfortunately. I just hope they improve things next year. Because they're all Minardi team, aren't they? So, I mean, they're doing much better than Minardi ever did, but I don't know, just lacking something. And finally, HRT, the new Minardi team, shall we call them? Well, they're now, obviously, it would have been impossible to ignore the fact that they've now gone bust. It was easy to, I made a few jokes, rude jokes about them in things I wrote, things I've said, things I tweeted, basically calling them a rolling joke. But the fact of the matter is, it was one of the F1 bloggers who mentioned it. So it wasn't the F1 bloggers, it was Russ, Road Race Parchment. Because he does stuff with Trans Am Racing, he knows what it's like to run a team, and sees what it's like to run a team in motorsport. Like, obviously Trans Am isn't very big. Well, it's quite big, but it's not on the same scale as NASCAR and Formula 1. But the thing is, the amount of effort it is to get a car designed, get the engine in, get it working, get it the first race, and get it to the end of the race, not even thinking about where they're going to finish. That takes a huge amount of effort. HRT's heart was in the right place. Unfortunately, their head wasn't in the right place, and their wallet seemed to be constantly mislaid. One of the team manager at Jack's was going, "Terribly sorry, I left my wallet in the Jag." But it's sad to see them go, because every sport needs basically a Minardi team. They need a back marker. Someone's going to be first, someone's going to be last. The only thing that disappointed me a lot with HRT is, well, unlike Minardi, if I remember them rightly, they at least made some efforts. They very occasionally had a good showing. But HRT, they never improved. They sort of constantly went backwards, and that was their downfall at the end of the day. But was it Peter Windsor? Gary Anderson, whoever it was, said, setting up in Spain wasn't the smartest idea because all the talent will either be in Italy, so taking pick from Maranello, or in England, Europe, basically. They're in the wrong, well, Europe, Spain, for fuck's sake. But, sort of England or Italy really is where you set up, because look, you've got Toro Rosso and Ferrari in Italy, you've got Sauber in Switzerland, but obviously Italy's not too far away. Then you've got everyone else in England. That's where everyone's sort of based. So it wasn't the smartest move, but farewell HRT, unfortunately. That's Pedro de la Rosa out of drive, which is a bit sad. Carter Kane out of drive, which isn't very sad, to be honest. But then again, that is a team gone where they could potentially be introducing new talent. So that's one less team for the new talent to come into, which making F1 more competitive again. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. That's the end of this fan formula video for this week. Won't do any Santander mooning. That'll eventually catch up with me, and I might eventually get into trouble for it. Storm Space stuff. Hopefully this year, the plan is this year to get the website fully up and running. Obviously it's there, but we need to get more updates on it. We want to have the Twitter feed on the website. We want to have a video player properly on the website. Bio section is going to be updated. The member section is going to get started. But the main thing we still need in all that, because we can get the video section set up, but yeah, the Where's My Liberty project, we still need someone to do some voicing for us. We need to get an ask any so if there's a form of fan formula rep, or someone who knows someone of the female gender. I know it's the internet, so it's kind of hard to know someone of the female gender. But we need someone to do some voicing for us for the Where's My Liberty project, so we can get that filmed and starting hopefully in the can this year. And by can I mean, filmed, not the Kazi. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Anyway, hope you had a sober new year, everyone. We're off work today, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. Probably Halo 4 or watch some, or listen to some Bad Company today, I think. Anyway, see you next time.